The next horrifying nightmare scenario segment.
Yeah.
Great.
A plague of rats. You see, it was, I think, last month. A video went viral showing a bunch of, what were they, like gibbons or something, or baboons?
Yeah, they were like medium-sized monkeys.
Yeah, I don't know.
Some kind of monkey in Thailand.
Churiburi monkeys or
Churiburi
something?
monkeys.
Weird name. Yeah.
And they were fighting in the streets.
Brawling, yo.
Because normally the tourists throw food, but now that there's no food, wars have
hungry.
emerged, and monkey gangs started fighting each other.
Mm-hmm. Like hundreds.
Yeah,
Hundreds
like,
and hundreds.
like just running. It's nuts. And there's other videos too. I don't know if you've ever seen it of baboons. Like someone will throw a Snickers bar and then they'll just all stampede chasing after it.
Dang.
Yeah, it's creepy stuff. Now, I guess you can reason with the monkeys.
Yeah.
They know not to attack you or bother you because they know that you'll bring food, so they leave you alone.
Mm-hmm.
Rats, on the other hand, I don't think they're going to care. They're going to get ravenous and hungry. I mean, actually,
I agree.
You know, but hold on. I mean, I think a bunch of starving monkeys would be more terrifying than starving rats.
I also agree.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Because what do you think's going to happen when, like...
Well, the monkeys are strong, man. Those monkeys could probably mess a person up and take their food. If they're like, if one person's just walking with a bag full of food and they're hungry and they smell it, it's like they can definitely take someone out.
Whoa,
there was hundreds of them. I don't know if you guys have seen these videos, but it's crazy.
They're like
But hold on.
swirling.
And
Oh,
now,
let's look at this. Yeah.
look at this.
Here.
So this is crazy, though.
Rats have been taking to the streets in packs, sometimes in the daylight, emboldened by hunger.
Man.
Ooh.
They're out in the streets.
Roving bands.
Warriors.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
And what happens when you get a bunch of starving rats and they're all diseased and they start running after you like,
Your food.
yep.
They can eat humans, right? They can eat anything.
I mean, if there's like 100 of them.
I would be afraid of 100 rats coming at me.
All right, let's see what they say. The Hill reports, as the country begins to buckle down for what experts are warning may be our hardest week of the coronavirus-related deaths yet, one begins to wonder, where does all of our social isolating leave the urban-dwelling animals who depend on our food garbage for sustenance?
Oh, boy.
Secondarily, and perhaps even more worrying, where will those survivalists turn to when their need for food becomes dire? I do have to pause and mention pigeons.
Yeah.
Pigeons are a gift to mankind. You know why?
Why is that?
Well, first, pigeons are garbage incarnate,
Okay.
and so are rats, but pigeons are funnier because they fly. You have a cheeseburger in New York City. Not you, but a person. And they take a bunch of bites and they throw it on the ground, the garbage, and then little bits of food flop on the ground. A pigeon comes and then eats your garbage. The garbage is broken down in the pigeon's body, becomes an egg. Another pigeon eats garbage and it breaks down to become,
And that's
bird fertilizer.
why they're the gift to humans?
No, I'm
I'm
not
still
done.
waiting for
Wait,
it.
Right.
wait, we're working
So
on
Please.
first, pigeons are literally made of refuse. It is a biological function that converts the garbage you throw on the ground into a bird
Okay.
because they eat the garbage and turn into a bird.
Okay.
Where would all of that garbage go if there weren't pigeons?
The rats would eat it.
No. I'm saying, so I remember thinking this, 10, 15 years ago, I was in Chicago and there was a gigantic pile of French fries. I mean, like an insanely huge pile.
Okay.
Apparently a restaurant just dumped out a huge thing of French fries that for some reason.
Okay.
And there was like 200-300 pigeons just tearing at it.
I heard it was someone with coronavirus coughed on it.
This is 15 years ago.
I'm just
And I'm like,
I'm just making
what-
a joke.
Well ahead of
what
the
would
time.
we do with these French fries if not for these pigeons?
Mm-hmm.
The pigeons cleaned up shop, man.
Yep.
It was gone. It was like an hour, and I was like, whoa. The pigeons are our garbage come to life, cleaning up the garbage and then leaving. Now, they poop a lot. I get it. But the poop is isolated at certain locations typically. And a lot of it's washed away. So the garbage literally gets turned into birds and then leaves.
Well, the biodegradable garbage.
Yeah, of course.
What about all the rest of
You
it?
just have to pick it up.
No,
and
no.
throw it away.
Well, yeah.
Looking at you, humans.
Yeah, come on.
And myself.
I'm just talking about the food stuff.
'Cause I do it
Could you
too.
imagine if there were no pigeons? There would be just like garbage and like food garbage all over the floor. Like all over the ground everywhere. You'd be like, oh, these,
I was peeling an orange once. I was like walking through a park and I was like peeling the orange and like tossing the orange off to the side because I don't know, it feels like I'm not throwing trash on the ground when it's an orange peel, And this woman stopped me. She was like, excuse me. There's a trash can right over there. And she like pointed at a trash can that was, I could see it over there, but I don't know. It had me thinking like, man, am I littering? What do you think?
With
Like
fruit
an
peel?
orange
Fruit
peel.
peel?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, maybe though.
Really?
Imagine if like out in the country or maybe in the suburbs, I don't think it's a big deal.
It was Central Park.
The problem
Out
is
in the grass.
the problem is the people. There's like millions who pass through Central Park every day,
That's true.
and if everybody was doing it, it would get really bad.
Yeah.
The animals couldn't pick it up.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
So, but let's get back to the rats.
Okay.
Because check this out, they're apparently on alert in New York. Here's a quote. They say that we spoke with Robert Corrigan, a rodentologist who specializes in urban rats and works with cities around the world to design programs for rodent management. To find out, most New Yorkers have probably never heard of this type of job before, but it's his decision that affects their lives daily as he meets with agencies such as the MTA to help them mitigate the rat issue on the subway. It's no small feat either, especially in cities such as New York, whose rat population has been estimated to reach around 2 million.
I mean, I would say every time I ever went in the subway, I saw a rat.
Oh, totally.
Every single time I would see one.
Yep, they do their thing.
Yep.
Quote, this is actually the first virus outbreak where we've had to be on alert about rats. And obviously the reason is that everybody is shut down. The rats, especially in cities like New York, Boston, and Washington, D.C., are heavily dependent on us for their food. There's no secret here that rats, for the most part, get their food directly from us. It's all our garbage. In general, rats like to stay close to their burrows, which are often at ground level in apartment floorboards, alleyways, sidewalks, or basements. They're also nocturnal animals and survive by mastering their surroundings, trying to stick to familiar areas within a few hundred feet of their home. Corrigan tells Changing America that when rats come out looking for restaurant garbage and scraps on the subway and there's none to be found for several days in a row, they switch into survival mode. The result, he says, is that they will begin to show up during the day as well as the night and in different areas than you'd normally find them due to stress. The long-term impacts of a food shortage on urban rat populations can result in 3 possibilities, and each one is independent of the other. Because of this, there's no generalization as to what the rats in New York City are going to do. It's block by block, and it's actually colony by colony. If this keeps going on, and the rats do not find dependable everyday sources of food, they will begin to implode on each other. They'll go into high stress mode, and they may begin fighting to the death. And then they will begin to cannibalize each other for their protein.
Jeez.
The rodentologist says that he's already seen several cases while walking around the park.
Oh, no.
Rats that have been completely eviscerated and consumed by the others. Oh,
Jeez.
man.
Wow.
And this is what I was saying. What do you
Goodness.
think people will do
Yeah.
when the same thing happens? Once the survivors realize there's no more food to be found in that area, they may also begin to disperse, traveling quite a distance of multiple miles within the matter of a couple days in their hurried search for sustenance. They'll try to find another spot where they can get some kind of food, and if they don't find that, they're going to simply die. But the third possibility is that they will start following their noses.
This is where I was thinking.
Cities like New Orleans, with its popular French Quarter typically swarmed with tourists, are now seeing swarms of another kind. Emboldened by hunger, the city's rats have been taking to the now deserted streets in large packs in search of a bite to eat. Is this a video?
Oh, there's a
They
video.
got a video of this. That looks like, whoa, yeah, a bunch of rats. Oh, man, they're forming rat gangs.
Yep, rat gangs, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
but I mean, all I see is like they're gonna find ways into people's places, apartments.
Yep.
You know,
They're gonna find food.
New York buildings are not all new. A lot of New York buildings are not in good shape compared to like the brand new stuff that's going out. Like they're gonna follow the nose and they're gonna find their way in.
Well, he says, for now, take a look at how tight the infrastructure of your home is, whether that might be a single-family house or large apartment building, and how smart you're being about food waste. For apartment dwellers, he urges to not only check the premises yourself, but also check with your landlord to inquire about the structure of the space, especially if the building is located next to an alleyway or by a sewer. He says the most vulnerable spots in your home are doors that may be eroding or don't fit snugly into their frame, allowing the space below for rats to gnaw holes, which will allow them to enter your space. He says that they will go through any opening where they can get to the food they're smelling, and then they will simply try to create an infestation in somebody's home. Dude, it's going to happen. There's going to be a story. Rats are going to break into somebody's house.
Yep.
They're going to freak out and flee.
And take over their house.
Yep. He says, I encourage everyone to look around. Check if there are any kind of stray trash cans, dumpster bags, or anything that's going to attract rats and eliminate them. The next thing is very important. Rats are very smart and capable animals. And when they get desperate, I tell people to check their doors. You want to make sure your doors are fitting all the way to the threshold and there's no gap where they're going to allow a rodent in the house. One of the scariest possibilities to consider when it comes to rats invading your building may not be what comes to mind. Them cutting off your access to television. Rats gnaw on cables, and in fact, it's been estimated that a whopping 26% of electrical cable breaks and 25% of fires of unknown origin in New York City are caused by rats.
That makes sense.
It's just one of the reasons why you want to be as smart as possible when it comes to keeping the rodents out of your home. Along with the fact they're pretty darn hard to kill, They reproduce at a tremendous rate, mating up to 20 times in 6 hours and
Whoa.
producing 4 to 7 litters of 10 rats each year.
Oh my gosh.
Beyond that, they're neophobic, meaning that those traps you set and that poison you laid out probably won't work very well. Corrigan says that if you do happen to catch a glimpse of a rat in your home, especially if there are children present, it is certainly no DIY job. Call your local exterminator as soon as you can. We are all going to get through this, and hopefully over time, who knows, maybe they'll teach us a lesson to better dispose of our trash and keep our buildings tighter. You know what I see from this?
What?
We're not going back to normal.
No
Not at all.
way. Thank goodness, though.
Right, for this, for sure.
Well, there's a lot that needs to be, our over consumption is crazy.
Well, no, I think that'll come back for sure.
I hope not, though.
I think people are going to be. You get a couple stories about rats raiding somebody's house, and they're going to take their trash and recycling much more seriously.
Okay.
And that's a good thing, right? Not rats in people's homes, but people cleaning up and doing a better job. People aren't going to shake hands anymore.
Yep.
I think that's good.
Well, I guess maybe we'll bow or something.
We'll come
Or
up with something
live
better.
long and prosper.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, just do the
Let's just take
Spock
it.
thing.
Yeah, why not? Everyone knows what it means.
Now they're talking about rats. What about pigeons? Like we joked about
They can-
pigeons, but
that you said it though. They can fly, and
Yeah.
so they can fly to eat bugs in fields. Fly. They probably will migrate away from cities,
yeah.
and then migrate back when the whole machine gets kicked up again.
Yeah.
I mean, for that matter, what about all of the animals? sparrows, cats. Maybe the answer to the problem is to unleash all of the shelter cats into New York City.
Yeah.
Oh.
I heard
kidding.
I heard from somewhere that all the shelters were empty for
Oh,
the
that's
first
right.
time in
Yeah.
like 30
We were
years or
reading that.
something
That's
in New
really
York.
Because everyone's adopting the cats.
It's like, wow. And dogs.
That's kind of cool.
the joke
I
from
don't
The
know
Simpsons.
if it was for cats. I know it was a dog shelter that I was reading it about.
Yeah.
The
So-
joke from The Simpsons was that they had the pigeon-eating lizards. So they're like, we'll release snakes, then we'll release weasels, then we'll release dogs, then we'll release gorillas.
Yeah.
And they're like, but then they were like, how do you get rid of the gorillas? And Skinner's like, I don't know what said. I think it was Skinner. He's like, that's the best part. When winter comes, they simply freeze to death. It's like they keep bringing in more
Yeah.
animals to get rid of the old ones.
Well, yeah, that's a bad idea.
It's kind of crazy that humans have brought with them everywhere they go these animals.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like you couldn't get rid of the rats before they got on your boat, and you brought them on the boat.
Dude, they intentionally brought rabbits to Australia. They had no natural predators there. I
Really?
think. Yeah.
And the rabbits just went nuts.
Yeah, they went crazy.
I don't know about that. Australia is like
They had
like
to build a rabbit.
the last
fence.
level of Earth.
I know,
You know what I
it's
mean?
true.
Like the highest difficulty setting for
You'd
the
think
planet.
there would be tons of predators, but rabbit fence.
Weird
man.
ones.
Super
What
weird.
didn't someone like bring like frogs there or something?
All sorts of
Didn't that
transfer
happen
like
to
that.
some island down in the South Pacific? There was like
think
a
so.
snake that ate every little thing.
Oh,
so then
no.
now spiders have nothing that eats them. So now spiders are like taking over the trees.
Whoa.
So there's places
Oh
that
yeah,
like,
the webs are all crazy.
The webs are so massive because there's just these snakes and the spiders,
Oh,
and that's
no.
it.
That sounds like
The
hell.
spiders eat all the little insects. The snakes eat all the like rodents and rabbits and everything.
That
I
is
imagine
hell.
that there's
Nuts.
like
Yep.
there's an elephant somewhere talking to his elephant friends, and he's like, "Have you seen these places where humans are out of control? It's like they take the rocks and stack them up. It's crazy. There's rocks everywhere."
Right.
It's like we're talking about the webs of spiders because they grow out of control.
Yep.
You know what, man? I would not want to be in a city right now because
Me neither.
we live in the suburbs and there's no just like street refuse. So sure, we have turkey problems. Like
We saw two yesterday.
We have turkeys.
Whoa.
Rafters.
Problem is a loose term. We saw some wild turkeys yesterday.
So
it was
we
cool.
only saw 2 yesterday though. So if we get like 50,
No, but one day there was like 16 or 17.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, like last month.
Is
A
that a
rafter.
gaggle?
Rafter.
it's a rafter.
A rafter.
Oh,
of
is that what it
turkeys.
is? A
Yeah,
rafter?
A rafter.
I
That's
remember we
cool.
looked it up.
and they're like, but like,
Rafter.
it's like there's like a truce here. You know, like everyone's in agreement. You leave the turkeys alone. Let them do their thing.
Yeah, don't mess with the turkeys.
But
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, man. When the apocalypse comes, those
That's
turkeys are going to
food.
be food.
Yeah,
those
man.
turkeys are gone.
They're not rats. They're birds.
Yep.
Or
And
you know what,
I'm
honestly,
leaving
though-
my vegan at the door too.
No, just do they lay eggs?
Survive. Yeah, they
Like
do.
chickens?
They
You just-
do. Yeah.
You just catch them.
Keep them.
And you put them in a pen, and
Yeah.
then you go. You get fresh eggs. I think it's really dumb. They don't allow you to have livestock in like, certain areas. So like we can't have chickens here. I want some fresh eggs. I'm seeing on Twitter. People are making fresh bread.
I just walked down the street. There's goats
Yeah,
What?
there's
There's
right
goats
around
like
the corner.
4
There's,
blocks from here.
goats
We got
and
room for
alpaca.
goats.
I just saw goats.
We could get goats.
I don't want goats.
You know? Oh, that's right. They
Oh
scream.
my gosh,
They
they're
do
loud.
scream.
Yeah.
They're really loud.
Yeah, we used
They're
to live
loud.
next to some
It's true.
goats, and they would yell every
It
morning.
wasn't some. It was like a straight up farm that we lived next to.
Did they smell?
And they
too?
were loud. No, they didn't smell so much, but
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm not
Maybe-
I'm not about to try to
No,
do
no.
a goat
Wait,
impression.
hold on. Maybe we're missing something here.
What are we
maybe,
missing?
Maybe we can harness the rat power.
Eat
Go
them?
on.
Well, I mean, the rats are energy of some sort.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
they move around.
Diseased energy.
Well, no, well, yeah, I know, but like, you know, can we put them on little treadmills or like?
Yeah.
What are they gonna eat though?
I just watched
You
a
gonna
video.
feed them all?
I just watched a video about eating crickets,
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
and like they make cricket flour.
Right.
They grow sustainable crickets. They feed them healthy things, and they mill them into a fine powder. And apparently, it tastes like
Sounds
nuts.
terrible.
It tastes like a nut flour, right?
It does
You imagine
sound
being
terrible.
milled into a flour.
That sounds awful.
I'll grind your bones
yeah,
to
it
make my
sounds
bread.
not nice.
the Soylent Green.
yeah, the
But, you
cricket
know,
green.
I mean, everybody in the world eats bugs.
80%.
So
yeah.
I actually tried to buy some,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Amazon sold
Yeah,
out.
what the
Yeah,
heck?
it was weird. It was like unavailable, and I wonder if like survivalists
Random.
bought all the cricket flour. I'm like, regular flour still exists, guys,
Yeah.
but it's high in protein. It's got like I think like triple the protein of regular
Yeah.
flour.
Dang.
Super high.
Yeah, and you can use it for baking and everything. Yeah, it's weird. I went to Amazon, and it was gone. So you know, I don't know.
Sad.
But what the point is,
Keep looking.
I mean, we're not big bug eaters, but apparently you can mill crickets into flour.
Who knew?
We got all these rats running around. If we do nothing, they're going to invade people's homes.
What should we do?
I mean, do you just exterminate them and then just what do you do with the
Well,
bodies?
Waste.
Why don't you cook them up?
Like a little stew?
Soylent rat.
Soylent rat?
Soylent rat.
Yeah, what?
I mean, if you cooked a rat, would it get rid of the diseases and the parasites?
I
Yeah,
don't
wouldn't
know.
it?
Probably not the Well, pork
Yeah.
has parasites in it.
Yeah,
and
you just
they
boil
just
them, right?
advise you to cook it for a really long
Gross.
time. Right?
Here's the funny thing.
yeah.
Here's the funny thing. I have no problem eating bugs.
Right.
I wouldn't eat a rat. Like a
Yeah,
New York
that
rat, I wouldn't
seems
eat
a
it.
little...
What would you eat? Like a farm raised free range rat?
Yeah, I
why
guess.
not?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That's fair. I wouldn't eat a cricket off the ground in New York. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If like someone grew farm crickets and then like chocolate covered or like roasted or something.
Okay.
You know, that's like a normal thing. You don't want to eat dirty things. That's the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the problem with New York
But
rats.
I think the problem with rodents is that they don't have enough fat in them. And so it's actually, you know what rabbit starvation
Too
is?
gamey?
You know what rabbit starvation is?
No.
It's, so like in Venezuela, I think it was Venezuela, they said, just start eating your pets or eating your rabbits.
Okay.
Can't
But,
do that.
but rats are too lean. I'm sorry, rabbits are too lean. So if you only eat rabbits, you don't get enough fat in your diet, and like you can actually starve to death because it's just you can't do it.
Yeah, so too much protein will mess with your kidneys.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe.
Yeah, everyone's talking. Someone brought up the hantavirus, which is literally
Oh, yeah.
from
Oh,
yeah,
getting
yeah.
it from rats.
Yeah, don't eat rats, everybody.
Yeah, no,
It's not a good
Well,
thing.
we have a virus that was caused by a bat, so I don't think
Yeah.
we should probably be eating any rats.
No, but I do think Americans, for the most part, have a bias towards what they eat.
Definitely they do.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Like, we were talking about this before, like Fear Factor.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch Fear Factor, and they're like, you have to eat the intestines of a pig. And I'd be like,
All
so
right.
food.
I'd be out.
So food, you want me to eat food? I'll eat the food. I got no problem eating it.
yeah.
You know, but then like
Well, and the whole thing is like eating animals in general. I guess we're kind of bring it into that subject, but it's like as a society, we are okay with eating certain animals, and in others, we're totally not.
Right.
Yep.
You know, so in some places, cows are
Sacred.
You don't eat
Yeah,
cows.
absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
you eat cows, you're disgusting. But we're like, oh well, it's a cow. Like whatever, it's a burger.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know. But then when someone, same with dogs and cats, they're animals.
Yep.
But
And some
some
countries eat 'em.
people, some countries eat them,
yeah.
and they view it no different, like eating a chicken.
And then the people freak out, and it's like, don't you eat
Just
meat?
cultural difference.
Right.
Yeah.
You eat meat, don't you? Like,
Yeah.
why are you freaking out? Because they eat what you consider a pet.
you know,
It is a weird
it's
weird
true.
situation.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of eating dogs because I think dogs are man's best friend.
Okay.
But what am I going to impose my will upon an entire nation? I disagree with it.
Well, the Tiger King, his best friend was a cat.
I don't think we should eat
Yeah, man.
tigers either.
Well, no.
I think, and to that extent, you know, they're, you know, it's true. It's a cultural thing. Like I think of like deer.
It's a cultural
and
thing.
things you hunt, things that
Exactly.
are available to us, were
Right.
acceptable. But you know what? The bigger issue is, America in general has just drifted towards like a primarily meat-based diet. Like
And dairy.
right. So we disagree to a certain degree on on dietary stuff. I don't think from a libertarian point of view. I think from a personal health choice point of view.
Yeah.
But I think we both agree that Americans overconsume.
Absolutely.
You think more so than I do. I think, a portion of your diet should be meat, and it should mostly be like leafy greens and fresh vegetables.
Whoa. I think that everybody needs to do research on what their own body needs.
That's a better point. Yep.
That's what I always say. I am vegan for myself. I'm not vegan for you. Okay? I'm doing it for me. I feel better. I live in a world that I can do this very easily. I don't have to eat meat.
Yeah,
so I'm not eating.
Exactly.
The bigger issue is,
But do your own research and eat whatever you feel healthy eating. I'm cool with it. If you want to go hunt some food, more power to you.
we just watched we were watching an old episode of Penn and Teller's BS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can't even say the name of a TV show
that.
on YouTube.
Right.
And it was one guy who was he was morbidly obese, and he was getting sleeping pills because he didn't understand why he couldn't sleep.
Right.
And it's like, dude, you don't need sleeping pills. You need to, Americans go to the store and they're like, what should I eat today? I know, a double cheeseburger with bacon and a large fry.
And also a super large sugar soda.
Yeah, sugar water.
Man.
Right.
It's like, but what's interesting is millennials have stopped drinking soda.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're drinking mostly water now.
Sparkling water.
I
Soda companies
see
are not
that.
happy.
It's true.
Yeah.
I haven't had a soda in a long time. I mean,
really like that.
there was someone had a rum and Coke here earlier, so there was some Coke in the house, and I was like, oh, I'll have a
Yep.
Coke.
Now
I
I've
was
been
like,
drinking
this
them.
is so sweet.
I know,
It's
That's all I
like
can
syrup.
think of.
Dude,
I was
yeah.
like, man. So I had to go drink some water.
Yeah, man.
Well, we certainly
To loosen it
deviated
up.
from the rat apocalypse
A little bit,
into
yep.
fresh diets, but we'll stop it there. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.